Hello, my amazing artists. It's Miss Randall. It's so good to see you. Today we are going to be finishing our three-dimensional winter landscapes today. So if you weren't there yesterday or last week, or you had a hard time, I'm going to go over how we made those. You're going to need two pieces of paper, scissors, a pencil, and if you had cardstock, it would be better, which is a harder paper, but no worries if you just have two pieces of paper. And something to color with. Some oil pastels or crayons or colored pencils and glue. You can have a glue stick or white glue, but glue stick is probably better for today. So here we go. I will show you how we're doing this, and we're going to finish them today. Okay, so you are going to get a pencil and two pieces of paper today, or cardstock. What you're going to do first is you're going to, if you already haven't done this because we did it last week, but I'll catch you up if you had trouble, you're going to fold both of these in half, hot dog or hamburger style, like a book. There's the first one, and then I'm going to come in with the second one. There, so now we have two of these separate book things. So you're going to get one of them first, and you get your pencil, and you're going to draw a hill line for your foreground of your landscape. It's going to come from the corner, and it's going to come all the way up here, kind of like a diagonal hill. Okay, so that's going to be your foreground. You're going to cut that out. You're only going to cut the top sheet, right, the front of the book. You're not going to cut both of those. So you want to cut along. I'm going to cut, and then you are going to stop at the fold. Okay, and now you have the two flaps, so big one on the top and a small one on the bottom. You're going to open the top one, and you're going to cut along the fold. Okay, until it's off. All right, you want to save your scrap pieces, okay, guys? Save them. Put them to the side right here. Now you have this small little flap. You're going to take your pencil, and you're going to do the same thing, but you're going to start at the top of this mountain. And you're going to draw like another mountain going up here, however you want to do that. Okay? And then you're going to cut that out. Here we go. Okay? And there is the first part of our our three-dimensional landscape. Okay, so now you have two scraps. You're going to put them to the side, and you're going to take this second piece of paper that you folded. You're going to take this first piece, and you're going to put it on top of that one that you folded that we have not cut at all. And then we're going to get our pencil, and we're going to draw another mountain, and it's going to come all the way over here to the side, and you're going to cut that out. But again, you're only going to cut out that first flap. Do not cut both, just cut the first flap, okay? And then we're going to, just like we did with the first one, we're going to cut this all the way to the fold, right? And then we're going to open the top one and cut that top one off, just like we did in the beginning. So now we have the beginnings of our base of our pop-up landscape. We have a foreground, middle ground, okay, just like this. So here's another example, right? Foreground, middle ground, mountains, or can be also another, and then the sky, right? You can do that however you want to. So what we're going to do now is we are going to create what we're going to put on our landscape, okay? So we're going to take our scrap pieces of paper, and maybe you guys have started doing these, maybe you haven't, but we're going to make 3 different sizes. Okay, we can have a couple mediums, but we want to have some big sizes of things we're going to put on there. Maybe trees, maybe a snowman. It's up to you to decide. I think I'm going to go with trees because I love trees, and y'all know that I love trees. Oh, and so I'm just going to start to draw some trees on my, if I didn't break my, there we go. Okay, and you can draw your trees however you want. If you want to draw them like mine, that's great. If you just want to draw them to be big triangles, that's fine too, because you are going to be cutting these out. Okay, so I'm just making a couple big ones. Okay, a couple big ones. And you can do different kinds of trees if you want, but you have to think, these are evergreen trees and these always stay green, and I really want to color them green. So I'm going to draw the green ones. The other trees, they'd have no branches, but if you wanted to do trees like that, that's fine because it is a winter landscape. So now these are my big trees. They're going to go onto my foreground. You might remember my foreground. If we look at our label right here, that's where we're going to be gluing them, on the foreground. Okay, so next I'm going to try middle. I'm going to draw slightly smaller trees. Slightly smaller trees. Okay, now landscapes are one of the 3 main types of paintings, friends. Okay, so the other 2 are portraits, and we've done portraits before, and still lives. And still lives is where we draw things that are inanimate, meaning they don't move in front of us, like some fruit, or maybe your Lego set and you just drew that. That could be a still life Lego. Okay, so I have, these are going to go into my middle ground. Okay, and then I'm going to get some smaller ones. And you know what? I think I want to add like a house in the background, like a smaller little house. So I'm going to make a smaller little house over here. It might need to be a little bit smaller, but I think it's okay. Okay, making a little house. I'm going to have a chimney, some smoke, maybe a window or 2. All right. Maybe it's got some patterns on the house, right? Okay, and so I'm going to do that. I'm also, I think, going to do, I don't know, maybe I just adjust a little snowman. I have to do a snowman, guys, because I love to make snowmen. I'm from New York, and making snowmen were so much fun. So make a little snowman. Okay. So now, friends, you are going to color all of these in. You are going to make them super nice. I'm going to come back and show you after you go to coloring them, and I'm going to color mine up, and we'll meet back here on the next part of the project. Okay, so I hope you guys took some time and effort to really color in and make your objects and things that are going to be in your landscape. Okay, as you can see, I used some crayons. They're special crayons, and they kind of crayons and oil pastel, and they mix. I'm putting them over each other. Okay, used lots of different greens. I was going to also, I did grab a white, and where did I put it? Oh, here it is. And you could possibly make it look like there's some snow on your trees by getting some white here. Maybe putting a little white here, a little white here, and here, maybe a little bit. Just kind of lightens it up a little bit, makes it look like there's some snow on there if you get a white crayon. This is if you're using crayons, friends. That's why I really like to use crayons, because they can mix. All right. So we got some snowy, wintry trees. I have my snowman, and I have a house. Okay. Now, friends, you can add different things to your landscape. Maybe you want to put some animals in there. Okay, maybe you want to, I don't know, maybe you want to make a fence around your house. Okay, it's up to you. So once you get everything colored in really well, okay, you're going to cut these out. Okay, so I'm just going to cut these out. Remember when you're cutting, kind of like separate them. Okay, cut them out when you're cutting. You move the paper, not the scissors. Right, it makes it really easy for you to cut sharp angles like I'm doing. See how I just turned the paper? I just turned it, right, like this. Okay, you just want to, there we go, just like this. All right, you're going to cut out the other ones. Okay. And same idea, right? Removing the paper. And remember, you're coloring before you cut out. Okay? It's way easier to color a bigger piece of paper than a small little tree cutout. Okay, so make sure that you're coloring before you cut out your shapes. All right, and you need to color these, guys. We're not just making outlined, things and cutting them out without any color, without finishing them. That's just being half. That's doing half. All right, really, color is really what helps most of artwork. It's just one of the best things ever. So why wouldn't you want to use some color to add to your artwork and make it like, oh, this is my evergreen tree because it has so many different kinds of green. It's evergreen, which means the leaves never turn. They never turn the fall colors, right? Never turn the fall colors. So here we go. We have our two big. Now, friends, when you're doing all this stuff, you want to make sure that your landscape, if you say mine is kind of getting, this landscape part is getting messed up. So I kind of want to put that away so that I'm not messing it up with all my other stuff. So I have my little house. Remember moving the paper, not the scissors. Okay. And then we have my little, and remember guys, the smaller you make things, they're going to be harder to cut out. Okay. You can see this is kind of harder for me to cut out. And with you guys, it might be a little difficult because I've had a lot of practice with scissors, yeah. Okay, plus these scissors are a little big for this cutting, but it's okay. There we go. So now take all your scraps, throw them away. All these really tiny ones that are going to get everywhere. You want to make sure that you're staying clean and neat. So I'm just going to put that over here in my recycling because that's what we do. So now, friends, we have all of our things we're about to put in our landscape. But first, we need to work on the sky part. So these three parts, we have the foreground, where things are in front. They are the closest and they are biggest. We have middle ground. Okay, and then we have kind of the background and then the sky area. So the sky is not going to be, well, this is winter, so these are snowy and white. So they could remain white. Okay, maybe, you could put some, you might draw something on here if you wanted to make some rocks poking out of the whiteness. Okay, something like that. Or maybe some footsteps. Okay, maybe you would use, I don't know, some muddy footsteps going through the snow. Does that make sense? Okay, or, maybe a little bit of a bush coming, right? A little evergreen bush maybe coming out of the snow. Okay, you can draw some different things on your Let's go. But mostly it's snow, okay? So this is our sky. Now for me, I'm trying to think, is it night? Is it dark? What is it? I'm just going to go with a good old fashioned light blue sky, okay? So you can even open this up. So this, your background is with the sky here. So I might just start to color my sky, right? So I'm just kind of coloring my sky in. Maybe I'm going to make it, is it going to be nighttime? Is it going to be daytime? Am I going to have clouds? What's going to be happening in my sky? I think I might make it nighttime. Or maybe I'll just have like a little moon in there because I like moons. There'll be a dark moon in the corner. Kind of like a crescent moon, right? We'll have a little crescent moon in the corner here. Maybe I'll have some stars. Maybe I'll have some stars up there. As I love stars. And it's nice to see a snowy, starry night. Okay, so let's get some yellow up here. And guys, I don't know how my stars are gonna look because I kind of overlapped and I did my sky first. But you know what? That's okay. You know, you just roll with it. I actually think that looks awesome. And I'm just gonna keep doing it. Maybe next time I would have planned better, right? So we all make mistakes, or we don't do things always, and then I broke my crayon. Always as we, planned, but sometimes things just work out the way they work out. And you go with what you go with, right? And you're okay with that. It's okay. There we go. So now I have my sky in there. That's what I'm going to do for my sky. So, there we go. Got to just color this right here a little bit more. Right, so now we take our biggest items, the biggest things that you drew. Remember, the bigger things go in the front, the foreground, okay? Now, if you have white glue or you have a glue stick, that's fine. It doesn't matter. I'm going to use white glue because I have cardstock and my paper is a little tougher than regular white paper. So if you have a glue bottle and you have stronger paper than just white computer paper, then you are going to use maybe some glue, white glue. And how I like to use my white glue is I just turn it sideways. I twist it open, and when I pour it out, I pour a little bit out, and then I spread it. I spread it with my orange tip. Just squeeze a tiny bit out and spread it around so it doesn't get everywhere. Oh, and I made a mistake here, okay? You only want to put glue on the part because you're going to have part of this sticking up, right? So I'm going to put it here, right? And I only wanted to put glue on that, but I mistakenly put some on the top here, which is fine. I'm just going to let it dry, opened up like that, okay? And I'm going to glue my other one over here, which is also pretty big. I could put it, no, but I'm going to put it right here. So if you look, and I'm gluing it here, the only part that's going to touch is going to be that back part here. So what I might do if I'm looking at this is I might just glue that bottom half right here, okay? Remember spreading it with your orange tip, okay? And then I'm just gonna, there we go, hold it there. So I'm gonna hold both of these guys, maybe count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. And there we go. And that might take a little longer to dry. That's okay. Like I said, maybe I'm going to take a little paper towel or another piece of paper, scrap paper, and I'm just going to kind of wipe off that glue so it's no longer on there, okay? Wiping it off so it's no longer there. So now I have this. Now I'm going to start with my medium for my middle ground, friends. My middle ground is going to be right here. And where am I going to put my trees there? They're going to be a little bit up. And I can open this up And I'm going to glue them there. And remember, you're only putting glue on the lower half because the upper half is going to stick out. So I'm just going to come over here and I'm going to repeat what I did before. Remember, only putting this on the lower half because that's what's going to stick, okay? And then I'm thinking I'm going to put it maybe here. I want it to be able to be seen from the front, right? And so I kind of placed them where I wanted to before I started gluing. Thought about where you want to put them, your composition, right? And I'm just kind of, and friends, like I said, this is, you make really small things, they might not stick up the way these go. These are sticking up, okay? The bigger they are, the better that they'll stick up away from the paper, kind of like these ones. Okay, so now I have my foreground and my middle ground. I'm going to kind of just put them to the side, right? And I'm going to work on my background, which is going to be up here, right? And so I'm going to kind of put them like that. And if you want to come and look, you can see how these fit together, where you might want to put, maybe I'm putting my house over here. Maybe I'm putting my, oh, I think that looks way better right there. But then it's under the moon. Well, maybe I'll just put my house in the middle, right? And I can put, oh, I kind of like it like that, maybe like that. We'll just do it just like that, okay? And taking one, because this is wet still, taking it over here. I'm going to remember only the bottom part. Only the bottom part. I'm going to put it right there. Okay. Now you want to be careful that you're not gluing this to the back, right? So it's only gluing onto that background part, or one of the middle grounds. You just want to be putting your glue on the bottom. There we go, just like this. Just like this. And then there we go. So now it's going to take a little bit for these to dry, but here is my winter landscape. And when we put it up, I'm going to show you in the next clip, because you can't see what a 3-dimension it looks like right now, but you can see the foreground, middle ground, background, and the sky. Okay, and I'll show you. Hope you guys followed along. Remember, you can stop this video and rewind it as many times as you'd like. I'm going to see you in, I'm going to show you what this looks like. Right, so look, this is how your landscape should stand up. Okay, so you have your first part and you just kind of open it like a card, like it would be standing. And then you put your second part, friends. And if you want them all to stick together, you can always put kind of a piece of clear tape right here. Okay, if they're not sticking together. I don't think I have any clear tape, but, or you could just put regular tape and then color it in white. Okay, but there you go. There you have it. So I hope you guys had a fun time making this. Remember to post in your Padlet. You know, tell me a little bit about your landscape. Show me where the foreground, the middle ground, and the background are. And, you know, just share something. And if you didn't get around to finishing today, maybe you're sharing something else. Maybe you're sharing a drawing that you did, or some origami you folded, or, you know, something you painted, or anything. I love to see what you're creating at home. I hope to see your 3-dimensional landscape, and have a great time making this. Bye.